Hi, welcome. Good morning, everybody. It's so good to see you. Welcome, Nikki. Welcome, Martha. Good morning. Good morning. It's Monday morning today, and we are continuing. Before we do our accountability, we are continuing our theme of quitting. I'm not a big fan of quitting, but especially if you really want something, but there are certain things that you might have to quit in order to achieve what you want to achieve. So we talked about the desire to please everybody yesterday. That is something you definitely have to quit. And today, we've got one that I know some people are going to find quite difficult, and that is you have to quit living in the past. And this I know is quite difficult because, and it depends how we approach it and how we go about it. And we talk, obviously, this is morning mindset, so we talk a lot about mindset and beliefs and things like that in these sessions. But when I talk about quit living in the past, first of all, I'm not saying that you should get rid of any happy memories or something like that, But what I am saying is, if anything super amazing happened in your past, like when you look back and you say, oh my God, why can't things be like that again? Like, why is my life not like that again? That's going to cause a lot of difficulty in terms of your belief system when it comes to affirmations, because you're going to constantly be affirming, looking back and living in the past, saying this was a wonderful time and my life isn't like that anymore. I actually would I had to really consciously really try and make an effort. Like we talked about the biohacking that I'm doing right now. I wanted to use my time when I was like feeling happy with my body and stuff like that before I had my last 2 kids. I wanted to use that as a motivational time, but I realized I was just looking back thinking, why am I like that anymore? It's going to be so difficult to get back there and things like that. So positive things can happen in the past, but if you live with inside them, you'll never move into the future. If you live inside that past, you'll never recreate something new for the future. And at the end of the day, we can never go back. We can never ever return back to where things were. We can only go forward. So in terms of anything good that happened to you, try not to think about getting it back or feeling bad that it's not like that anymore, but try to really think about how you could recreate it but make it better in the future. Yes, that was nice, it was good, but how can I recreate that but make it better? What can I add to it? How can I change it? How can I shape it? So that's one thing that you can do, looking at positive experiences that happened that you may have wanted to continue but are no longer there. Now, the other way of looking at it, living in the past, sometimes we live in the past of negative emotions, things that have happened to us. Obviously, there are medical conditions that people, associate with this, like trauma and stuff like that. And what I'm saying is about the negative things that have happened in the past is that you need to find a way to let go of those and not live within those still like they're happening right now, because they finished. This is why we call the past. Yesterday is gone. Everything before yesterday is now gone and it's done. And we can't get it back. And that can often be a good thing, as we're moving through life. If something bad happened to us, we might say to ourselves, oh, we don't want that to happen again. But it's ironic, because I've noticed this, because I've been around people who do tend to cling to the past and negative experiences. And to me, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to dwell on bad things that happened to you? Why would you want to do that? But sometimes people do it because they feel some way that's protecting them, that if they remember that bad experience, they won't repeat it. So they end up in this cycle of constantly bringing up the past and bringing up the negativity and bringing up all the things that they don't want, and remembering them and living in that past, because they simply feel like if they keep focusing on it, it won't happen to them again, and they won't have history repeating itself. Now, all that happens is you stay stuck in that negative pattern and frame of mind, you know. And some people, and I've also met people like this, and they don't realize it, and they don't think that they're doing it, or they know that they're doing it, is there's a lot of people that like to have this kind of victim mentality in terms of when they were going through that bad experience, they were getting a lot of attention, a lot of people were kind of like pouring themselves into them, and then sometimes when you no longer have that, it's almost like you feel, I need it back again. You know, I want that attention back again. I want that focus on me again. And when you do that, you kind of stay stuck in like the woe is me mode, you know, like, I can't believe this happened to me and blah, blah. You know, I know one lady who does this, and she's like in her 70s and still talking about things that happened in a very, very young age to her. Like, we're talking teenage years. And it's not going to serve her in any way by bringing these things up and constantly dwelling on them and focusing on them, because they're all negative things. And you're also at the point right now where it's you find it like you find that somebody has to move on with their lives and, you know, create a better future for themselves and not keep living in the past. So living in the past is definitely something that you need to quit now, because it is going to hold you back. And again, don't erase the memories of the good things. Don't ever get rid of those. Don't ever forget people who you love. Don't ever, you know, who are no longer with you. I'm not talking about any of that, but the living in the past, like the mourning of the past, needs to quit in order for you to move on to the future. So whether that be relationship wise, whether that be business wise, whether that be, you know, thinking about like, oh, I tried this in my business and it didn't work, you know, and maybe the same thing's going to happen again. And no, it's like, always try to think, okay, if I want to recreate something, if I want something to happen again in my life, how can I do that? But how can I make it better? How can I put a different spin on it? How can I bring it up to date? You know, we have to modernize our past experiences in a way. We have to bring them forward and make them more fashionable than they were before, you know. So I think it's great that we hold on to things, memories, and cherish them and look back with fondness. But oftentimes that can sometimes, and catch yourself, if it is it causing a negative mode within me that is preventing me from moving forward and keeping me stuck in this wanting and needing of the past, which is never going to come back again. So that is today's little nugget of wisdom for you guys. Today's quit, well, you got to stop quitting. You got to start quitting. Is you've got to quit living in the past, and you've got to begin creating your future. Thank you, Martha. Martha, she loves it. That was a good one. And again, you know, I'm drawing all these things from my own experiences. Don't think I'm sitting here preaching on things that I've never done, because I've done all of this stuff. I talk about all of it, and, you know, I've learned from it, and I try to really take it to heart, because it is something that I know makes me a better, healthier person if I do try to really consider these things, rather than just kind of, you know, sit in them, you know, and wallow in them, I guess, in a way. Okay, so that was it today. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, ladies. That today actually was, I'm going to tell you what prompted that today. It was actually my 3-year-old's birthday yesterday. She just turned 3 yesterday, and it really reminded me of my dad. And when I think about my dad, I had a great, like, small, like, young childhood with him. But then after that, it went very, very sour. And I've almost always constantly missed, you know, those years of when it was really, really good. And never, you know, like, I kind of would beat myself up over, like, how could have things been different? Could they have been better, and things like that? And at the end of the day, I can't change anything about the relationship with my father, but I definitely can not make that same mistake with my own children. And I was thinking yesterday about my 3-year-old and her birthday, and it brought back these memories of my dad. And then I just thought to myself, no, that's me living in the past. I have to really think now about how I can have the best relationship with my kids, not put myself or put them in a position where they're going to feel the same way about me in any circumstance, and just really think how I could be the best possible parent and mother that I could be, in order to never have them feel the way that I felt. But obviously in the good things, take all the good things that were from that relationship and inject them into my parenting now. Think about all those good times that I had with my dad when I was much younger, and then think about how can I recreate those really good times with my own children. Anyway, that's just a bit of context of how today's chat came about. Okay, so quit living in the past. Let's move on to the future. And how do we do that? Daily accountability. So everybody get your journals ready. We are going to do our daily accountability now, non-negotiable. And I will see you back here again tomorrow, where we're going to do another part in the series of quitting, things you need to quit now. And we'll keep rolling through this story. So thank you, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside Virtual Co-working Space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before. Thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action. Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.